All right, geometry crew, we are moving on to surface area and volume of a sphere. Make sure that you read the notes that I post, the picture of the notes, just because there's kind of a lot of vocab words in here that you're going to want to know. You might already know some of them, but the most important part of this section is just knowing the formulas on how to solve for the surface area and the volume of a sphere. All right, so a sphere is just like a ball. All right, like a pool ball or volleyball, something like that. All right, the Earth is a sphere. So what we're doing here, we are figuring out what is the surface area, or the amount of area that it takes to cover that ball, and then volume, the amount of water or liquid that can be contained inside of the ball. Okay, and I have our two equations written down here. Surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, and the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so make sure you know the difference there. And I'm going to do the first three problems on page 736. So they tell us that the diameter of a sphere is 12 feet. All right, and they want us to find the surface area. Well, that's actually pretty simple, okay? So the surface area, once again, it's equal to 4 pi r squared. And the r is going to be half of the diameter. So it's 4 pi 6 squared, all right? So what we end up getting here is 4 pi times 36. So 36 times 4 is 144 pi. And it looks like the problem says to leave it in terms of pi. Number 2, we're using the same diameter, all right, the diameter of 12 feet, but we're trying to find volume, and they want it to the nearest tenth here. And remember, volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So it's 4/3 pi. Our r is 6, and that is cubed. All right, so 6 cubed is 216. So we have 4/3 pi times 216. Now, what I'm going to do on my calculator here, all right, on this problem, I'm going to multiply straight across. So I multiply 4 times 216. So I have 864 all over 3 pi. And at this point, you can do 864 divided by 3, and your calculator, all right, will reduce it. If you see that number 1, frac, so it's 288. And they want us to round to the nearest tenth here, so I'm going to do 288 times pi, which is 904.8, and this would be feet cubed. Same thing over here, this would be feet cubed. All right? Now, I do want to do number 3. Number 3 gets us into a little bit different way to solve these problems. So they tell us that the volume of a sphere is 80 pi centimeters cubed. So they say the volume is equal to 80 pi centimeters cubed. What is the surface area to the nearest whole number? Well, if they give us the volume and they want surface area, the only thing that we need for surface area is the radius. So what we need to do, if we know that this is the volume, and we also know that the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, then we can just say that the volume, which is 80 pi, is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. And we're going to solve for r. So what I need to do is get everything from the right side over to the left side. So first, I'm going to divide by pi on both sides. Divide by pi on both sides. So I'm left with 80 is equal to 4/3 r cubed. And in order to get rid of the 4/3, we multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4. So I'll go to my calculator. We got 80 times 3/4 is 60. So how do we get the regular radius? Well, we have to take the cubed root. All right, the cubed root. So if I do 3 and then I push my math button, oh, there's already a cubed root button in here. So let's go back. We're going to delete the 3. So let's go to math. Cubed root of 60 is 3.9. So r is equal to 3.9. If we take this r now, we take this r and we plug it into surface area, because remember, surface area is equal to 4 pi r squared. So this is 4 pi, and the r is 3.9 squared. All right? So 3.9 squared, this is 4 pi times 15.3. All right, so 4 times 15.3, I got 61.3 pi. So then we finally multiply by pi. I got 192.5. They want us to round to the nearest whole number. So this would actually be about 193 centimeters squared. And actually, this isn't cubed right here. That's squared. All right, so that's kind of how you do those first 3 problems. This one took a little bit longer because we had to solve for the radius first before we plugged it into our surface area. And they're going to do that on your homework. For instance, like problems 13, 14, 15, and 16, they give you the circumference. Well, you know circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So if they give you the circumference is like 8, then you have to set 8 equal to 2 pi r and solve for your radius. All right? So make sure if they give you problems and you need the radius, but they don't give you that, you have to solve for it first. All right? Hopefully this helped. Hopefully everybody's staying healthy.